Commissioner Sanchez will be a little bit late, let's go ahead and begin. All right. Okay, we'll call this meeting to order at 12:01. All right, thank you all for coming. Let us begin with roll call. Right, Commissioner Corpus.
Present. I'm here.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Delia.
Order at
Present.
12.
Commissioner Guzman.
Right, thank you all
Present.
for coming.
Commissioner Zizaki.
Roll call. Right, Commissioner Corpus.
Present.
Commissioner Rice.
Very much.
Present.
Commissioner Delia. Order at 12. Commissioner Guzman.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
I'm sorry, hold on one second.
Echo.
I'm getting feedback.
Roll call. Right, Commissioner Corpus.
Is anybody else hearing that feedback?
Yeah, there's like an echo coming back.
Okay.
Okay, there it is. I think.
Commissioner Guzman.
Until
Sorry, hold on one second. I'm getting feedback.
hold on one second. We're
Commissioner Corpus.
figuring this out right now. Please stand
Is
by.
anybody else hearing that feedback?
I think it might be coming from the office. We probably need to mute a little bit more. There you go. Okay, and Commissioner Sanchez.
Yeah, present.
All right, thank you very much. So we have a quorum, and let's move into, before we move into the public announcement, I'd just like to say a few words, right? As we begin this, given all of the things that have been happening lately, I'd just like to offer just a quick moment of silence for Director Tapasnia, right? You know, if we could all just. Right, thank you very much. You know, despite all of that, we do have some reason to celebrate. We have a full board and want to welcome officially some new members to the board. Commissioner Rice, who was just sworn in, right, just last night. Congratulations. Commissioner Sanchez and myself were sworn in together. And I think with the 7, we have a complete board. It's really a blessing and an irony that my first order of business was to sign some paperwork that named Liz now the acting director. So congratulations and thank you, right? And I think the lasting legacy also that Director Tapasnia left us was a full board, right? And it's ironic that he didn't live to see the first meeting of the full board, but I'm sure he is very much around in spirit, watching over us and making sure that we do our job. So welcome to all of the commissioners and to all of the standing commissioners. Thank you so much for all the work, and I appreciate all of you, and I look forward to working with you. I also want to thank Commissioner Guzman, right, for acting in the stead and all the good work that you do. Thank you so much. I'm going to be relying on all of you to help me through this learning curve, and so I appreciate it. And last but not least, right, thank you, Director Napoli, right, for accepting the charge and moving us forward, and really to all the GHURA family during this time, right. Thank you for fighting the good fight, right, and continuing to do the good work of GHURA, right. Thank you very much. Let's move on to the first order of business on the agenda. Board meeting public announcements, which is in your packet. I believe all is in order. We have the January, what is that?
14.
The January 14th, correct? I see that. And then we also have the January 23rd, I believe. Right?
Actually, February 18th, the first printing.
I'm sorry, February. That's correct. So February 14th, right?
Right, so.
And
so
then
the-
February
So for the public
23rd.
announcements. Right, so the public announcements were February 18th and February 23rd. All looks to be in order with that, Chairman. And then we just
Okay,
move on to
thank
the
you very much.
approval. Sure.
Okay, thank you very much. Right, and then now we move on to the approval of the board minute meetings, which is also in your packet. When you're ready, may I hear a motion?
Mr. Chair, I just have some corrections. On
Okay.
page 2 of 7, on the second to the last bullet, resolve that the chairwoman of the GHURA BOC, I just like to make sure that we put acting chair in front of that. And then 2 bullets above, authority should be capitalized. And then if you go to page 4 of 7, page 5 of 7, page 4 and page 5, Mayor Hoffman, his name is HOFMANN. And yeah, and that's it for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Any other corrections to the minutes? Okay, hearing none, may I get a motion?
I'll move to approve the minutes of the meeting of January 14th.
I will
Right,
second that
subject to
motion.
corrections.
Yeah, subject to corrections. Thank you.
Correct.
Okay, thank you very much. May I hear a second?
I will second that motion.
Okay, Commissioner Delia, second. Any more discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor? Okay,
Aye.
I see ayes. Any opposed? None. Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you very much. And then we move on now to new business. Director Napoli, intent to award.
Okay, so the intent of award for invitation for bid number GHURA-COCC-022-003 for the FY 2022 insurance coverages for excess liability, automobile, and workers' compensation. So GHURA issued the IFB on January 27th, 2022. The solicitation was for those 3 lines of insurance coverages, the excess liability, automobile, and workers' compensation. The IFB closed on Thursday, February 17th, 2022 at 2:00 p.m. GHURA had reached out to 7 different companies, of which only 2 companies submitted bids. On the bid due date, it was noted during the bid opening that NAMBO Insurance did not include acknowledgement of addenda 1 and 2 in their bid submission. GHURA determined NAMBO Insurance's omission to be a minor informality that could be waived without prejudice to other bidders, as the effect on price, quantity, quality, delivery, or contractual conditions is negligible. A general notice was provided to all bidders, NAMBO Insurance and AM Insurance, that the deadline for NAMBO to submit the acknowledgements of addenda 1 and 2 was due by 5 p.m. the day after bid opening. NAMBO was successful to deliver the required documents by Friday, February 18, 2022 at 10:11 a.m. Overall, GHURA is requesting the Board of Commissioners to award the following coverages to AM Insurance for excess liability and automobile insurance in the total combined annual premium amount of $48,632.15, and to award to NAMBO Insurance for the workers' compensation insurance in the total annual premium amount of $28,543. The insurance coverages will take effect March 1st, 2022. And the attachments for the bid tabulation, the rate comparison chart, and insurance coverage limits are all there. And if you should have any questions, Ms. Greta Balmio is on the Zoom with us, and she can answer any of those questions.
Sure. Thank you very much. I do have a question, just really quick, and forgive me if I'm not used to reading some of these statements, but in the document that you just referenced, right, which is page 1 of 19 of that, or 11 of 29 in our packet, you cite the amount of 48,613.15 as the total amount for NAMBO, right? Is that correct? And then if I move to the following document, which is your tabulation, I believe your tabulation sheet that has the handwritten with NAMBO insurance and AM insurance, I noticed the same amounts, right? The 28,543 for NAMBO. If you track where I'm at, right? And then if you look at the comparison column, it's 11,118, 37,514.15, which is the correct amounts as per the documents for the liability insurance and the automobile insurance, right, respectively. But then the total, but then you have a compensation amount in the compensation for 48,928. Is that supposed to be a sum of the two? And if so, does that belong there? And if it is a sum, shouldn't that be a 48,635.15?
So Greta, did we have a typo somewhere?
Sorry, Dr. Robert, could you refer to the 48 or 49,000 amount? Which
Sure.
page?
If you look at, if you are looking at just that submission, right? It's probably page 2 of 19, where it has the handwritten amounts. Do you see that document?
Yes, the bid tabulation.
So yeah, correct. So if you go under the AM insurance column, it's 11,118, 37,514.15. And then you have a workers' compensation insurance for 48,928. Is that an
Correct,
error?
yeah.
That's an error.
For which line? The workers' compensation?
The workers' compensation, because
I can address it, Greta.
Yeah,
So what we're doing, so Chairman, if you take a look, we're talking about 3 different insurance policies. So we have an excess liability, that's 11,118, automobile 37,514.15. So when you add those together, that's the AM successful bid. That's where you get the 48,632.15. The 48,928.32, that's AM's bid on the workman's comp.
okay.
So they're losing, they're the unsuccessful bidder on that.
Okay.
And that bid will go to NAMBO's at 20,543. So we don't add those two together to get to the 48.
I gotta say,
tracking.
if I may, Mr. Chair, I had the same issue too when I was reading it. I had to go back and forth 3 or 4 times because I had the same, I was looking at it the same way and it just didn't make sense. And then I finally added it all up and then, it was a little confusing.
Right. Okay, thank you very much. So that was their, just to clarify, that was their worker compensation insurance bid, but that's the one that is not going to be accepted by this body. Okay.
Correct, yes.
Tracking. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And the only other thing, as a kind recommendation, right? So when we put these packets together and you're going to have the attachments, if you could just, as a kind recommendation to the future, maybe title some of these attachments, that would also help us to ensure that all of the attachments are there and that they're under their proper categories, because sometimes they just kind of merge into one document, right? And if you have the titles above it, it would help tremendously to filter through it a lot faster if you could. Appreciate it.
Noted, will do.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nothing further for me. Anybody else have any other questions or comments?
I got some questions for Greta. Greta, can you just explain the like workman's comp, the coverage and the deductibles, please?
Good afternoon, Commissioner. Thank you for your question. Under workers' compensation. So we On page 6 of 19, we do have the bid response form, which indicates the limits for this line of coverage. So you do have the deductible, which is in line with like Guam law. And these cover up to $100,000 limit for each claim.
Okay. All right. And then how about the liability? The liability insurance, I'm a little confused on that. What are we covering? Because I thought that government doesn't have to get liability insurance.
So for excess liability, this one supplements our general liability coverage, which we procured back in 2019. And our general liability line of coverage is for a term of 5 years. It's these three line of coverages, excess, auto, and workers' compensation that insurance companies typically bid or renew on an annual basis due to like the high number of claims that fluctuate from year to year. So we'd have to fall in line with the premiums and how the market is for each year for them to give us the best costs.
Okay. Alrighty. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Hi, Greta. This is Nathaniel Sanchez.
Hi, sir. Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hi, Greta. Who is the current provider for your insurance, for your liability and workman's comp and all lines?
Current provider for our insurance coverage is AM Insurance. And the broker
Okay, so they're
us with DB Insurance, Dongbu.
Dongbu.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Thank you, Greta.
Any other questions? No. Okay. Hearing none, may I request a motion?
I will make a motion to for the intent of award for ISB GHURA BOC -022-003 for fiscal year 2022 insurance coverage to A&M Insurance for excess liability and automobile insurance in the total combined annual premium amount of $48,632.15, and award NAMBO Insurance for workers' compensation insurance in the total annual premium amount of $28,543, which will take effect March 1st, 2022.
Thank you, Commissioner Delia. May I get a second?
I second that, Chairman.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Sanchez. Any more discussion? Okay. Hearing none, may I call for a vote? All in favor, please say aye, or thumbs up, or raise your hand.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any opposed? Okay. Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you very much. And moving on to item agenda 5, correspondence and reports from the A&E manager. Mr. Sonny Perez, I believe that's you.
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, commissioners. Good afternoon, Director Liz and Madam Deputy Audrey. Again, thank you so much for allowing me to make my report, as always. And oftentimes I always like to say it with a smile and good things, but nonetheless, this report will be, of course, our ongoing projects and a tribute to our leader who is already sorely missed. So, Audrey, if I may share my screen, please. And let's see, I hope this works. Okay, hold on. I'm so sorry,
You're
my
good to-
computer.
yeah.
Okay, I can share.
Yes,
All right. Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
Just not. Uh-oh, okay. Okay, I'm getting a little bit of computer problems, but I will log back in about a minute. Okay, I apologize for this.
While Sunny is logging back in, I did fail to mention, and I want to welcome also Audrey again, who will be taking the helm as acting deputy director also, right? Congratulations and welcome. And thank you for all that you do for us.
Thank you, sir. Okay, he should be logging on now.
Okay. All right, I apologize for that,
Welcome back.
Commissioner. Let me, just when we think we have it all together, it doesn't happen that way. So here we go. All right, okay, good afternoon again. This is my report for February 25th. Any updates, okay. Now, again, this is what I'll be talking about, project updates that are ongoing. Several of the projects. I will show you a few of the Sinajana Fire Station perspectives that show progress drawings, progress perspectives, again, as we move along with that project. And of course, I'll be talking a little bit of Director Tapaza's, I call them legacy projects, okay? Now, all this information is found in our website, the GHURA.org website. And as you can see from the drop-down menu, you will be able to find it as you go to the Board of Commissioners, or I'm sorry, the About GHURA, and it says Architectural Engineering Project Updates. And as you go there, it'll bring you to a website that shows you all of the A&E projects, the mods, affordable homes, et cetera, et cetera. So again, if I go through all the projects, it would take a long time, but I'd like to show you just the highlights, if that's okay with you. So let me begin with the Central Community Arts Center. Okay, there are many more projects online. So the project is about 75% complete. We're looking at a completion at June 2022. We've received about last week Mega United's change order request as a result of Mayor Hoffman's request. So we're reviewing that, and I promised to bring it to you this month. Unfortunately, the request came late, so I didn't have enough time to bring it to you, and I didn't want to confuse you either. So I prefer to bring it to your attention in the March board meeting. So that way I'll have a better understanding, and even if I believe the costs are acceptable or not. Okay, so that report is forthcoming. The Umatic baseball field. I reported in January that we were expecting substantial completion. Now, as the project proceeded, okay, the lights were tested. These were the stadium lights. They were tested February 7th, 2022, and witnessed by Mayor Chargalov. I'm sorry, not Chargalov, Kanata, Mayor Kanata, down in Umatic. And so he was happy. Unfortunately, right before we were about to accept the project, there were some permit issues that A&E ran into. And so, of course, for, in good conscience, I cannot say that this is acceptable unless all of these permit issues were squared away. And so with that, the project is still ongoing, even though it's I would say about 95% complete. Okay, hopefully by next month, we'll iron out this construction permit issue and be able to do a ribbon cutting, is what Director Tapaza was always looking forward to. Okay. The next one is the Residential Women's Treatment Center. The project is 20% complete. We're looking at a substantial completion at January 2023, which is, I'd say, plus or minus 10, 12 months away. Okay. It has been approved. The Department of Defense has approved this project for their for H2 workers. We are now waiting for USCIS approval. So we have one check mark for H2. H2 workers. This project is recognized as an H2 project. So yay, great for GHURA. Okay, there was a change order that was received from Inland Builders for their mechanical, electrical, and plumbing and site works. That's what MEP stands for. I apologize. I should have extended the acronyms just to save some space, but I'll explain, I'll expand them verbally. MEP is mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. So we're looking at a 22% increase, which is approximately 217,000. And again, A&E is reviewing it just to make sure it is acceptable. Now, I do want to make note that as a comparison, is 22% allowable or okay? Is that anticipated? Well, President Kreis himself of the University of Guam in a recent article found in KUAM.com and noted there 217.22, he's going back to the legislature for a 45% increase in construction costs because the Student School of Engineering and the Student Center projects that were approved quite some time ago have experienced construction costs increase, materials as well as labor. So 45% at UOG compared to our 22%, I think we're still okay, right? I think we're still doing well. Moving along, we do have some, we awarded the design to GUMA Architects about, I think it was the December board meeting. And so we've allowed them to move ahead and prepare perspectives for our review. Now, again, this is just the preliminary. They will do a formal presentation to the GHURA and fire department stakeholders, along with the GHURA board. And so this is just for your first review. We will have a first pass review later on as they complete, I think 60 or 75% of the design. So as you can see, this is the front of the fire station. The fire station. This is a site layout in relation to the existing Guam Police Department in Sinahanya. This is how the fire station will be laid out. And they've also included a night shot or an evening shot for your review. This is how, in relation to the sun and how the clouds, et cetera, et cetera. So they're doing a good job. And of course, I've asked them to make a presentation to our board just to get your input. And they all know it's very important. Okay. So the next one, moving along, part where it's kind of a little bittersweet because a lot of these things were shared between me and the director. And so many sleepless nights, many long weekends working together with him because he had a lot of things that he wanted to accomplish, not just for GHURA's sake, but for the community's sake. And again, I apologize. I use a lot of acronyms, but as I move along, I'll let you know what these acronyms represent. Okay, the first one, and board is quite aware of this project, is the renewable energy rooftop solar installation at Guma Tranquilidad. We may have run into a few bumps with that project, but we will still pursue it. And that project is in itself to install solar panels at Guma Tranquilidad along with batteries. And we were hopeful to reduce of course, the power bills, right? Power bills for our elderly community. Now we will be considering expanding this project to include the other public housing facilities. Okay, the next line is GBHWC. That's Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center. Okay, Director Tapazna during our lockdowns was communicating with Director Areola of Behavioral Health and saying, and saying, hey, if we can help you in some ways, we'd like to. And so the two directors communicated with one another, and they agreed to work on this renovation of Talafofo Cottage homes, and of course the new drug and alcohol treatment center over at Oka Point. Now he believed that these were worthy projects because there is a drug and alcohol problem on Guam, and that is confirmed by the police statistics and also behavioral health statistics. And so he really wanted to extend a hand to behavioral health and help with that. And mind you, just to let you know that there are 2 memorandums of agreement that are already in the works and are almost completed for this relationship to move forward. So you'll be seeing a renovation project at Talafofo, as well as a new construction for this drug and alcohol facility for behavioral health. Okay, Department of Public Health and Social Services, there was a biosecurity level lab, or they called it the mosquito lab, that GHURA had worked on back in the early, I think 2011, 2010 or so on down. And it did not, it was not a success. There were problems. The facility failed in its certification and did not receive biosecurity level that was required. It was an agreement between GHURA and Public Health, and it was funded by Department of the Interior. So the director at the time said, Sonny, do you think we can work on this and get GHURA's name in a better light, assist public health and get their certification, this biosecurity level certification? And I said, of course we can, of course we can. And again, you will see, we're working on another memorandum of agreement with public health to get this facility certified. Now, mind you, the director saw ahead that if public health had received the certification, then at the time when we were undergoing very difficult COVID lockdowns, there were instances where our COVID tests had to be sent off island. And that's because we didn't have a BSL lab, we didn't have a BSL certified lab on Guam. And if there was one, then those tests would have been done here on Guam and would have saved us countless hours and days. And he saw that. And so, of course, we're just another pandemic away, right? There's something else that's going to happen. At least let Guam be prepared. And that was his concern. It's like, hey, let's get this community prepared and ready, because we just don't know when the next one would occur. So I was for it. We spent, again, countless nights and weekends just getting this project going. And the last one is GHURA 2.0. Okay, this one, I wish he was here, because I only know like a tenth of what he wanted GHURA, this new GHURA, to be rebranded. And I know Dr. John will help me out. But before I go into GHURA 2.0, there were several projects that were quite, I would say, colossal. It even scared me. But he said, Sonny, we're going to do this together. And I know Director Liz would tell him to slow his roll, but I don't think Director Topazna ever listened. And so one of them that, again, I pay tribute to this man, because he was one guy who believed in me, and I really believed in him. And so we stretched each other, so far as to prepare this. We must have spent weeknights, just mornings, just talking to one another and saying, Sonny, he said, sir, I don't want to do this. No, Sonny, do it. No, I don't want to do it. Okay, fine. But the exchange was this, and it ended up, if you can recognize it, this is the health campus, the Sagan Hinemlu Health Campus, the $1 billion health campus, because he was involved, Director Topazna was involved with the hospital task force. And he asked me, Sonny, do you think you can prepare the layout? I'm like, I don't want to. This is a lot of work. He says, come on, Sonny, do it for me. He says, I'll drive you. Okay, fine. And so much of the exchange, much of the work that was put in, as you can see, this is where the new GMH would reside, along with public health, along with the CDC lab, many others. This was kind of his dream. We put it together. Whether or not it will come to pass, I just wanted to let you know. Again, we paid tribute to him because he really had many, many, many good ideas. Okay. So next slide is GHURA 2.0. Okay. His idea was to not just rebrand GHURA because of the name, but he believed that the employees, all of us, were capable of many more things than just being a housing authority. When he did the research and found these organic act powers, and that GHURA may be able to do all these other things, he did more research. Again, this was nights and nights and weekends of texting and calling and just bouncing things off of our heads. That's why I'm getting bald. I'm already bald. Okay, I'm losing my hair. He didn't lose his hair, I lost mine. He didn't lose his. Anyway, so he, we would talk, and this is just a few of the things that he asked me. He goes, Sonny, what do you think of involving UOG in this? I said, boss, that's a great idea, and that's how Dr. John came into play. Dr. John and I were very good friends, and said, hey, these are the things, and mind you, I can't even speak to all of them, but these are programs that exist in the law. And he says these programs are already in the book, Sonny, and it's just a matter of us just taking them out and seeing and weighing them and just, for the public, it's for the community, because we need housing. We need places to stay. The future cannot keep working on the past practices. He says, Sonny, you need to help me. And I said, of course I will. I don't know how. So that's why we asked the MPA students to come and help us out. Things like mortgage credit certificates, the Southern Economic Incentive Acts. He said, Sonny, these things are already in the books. Let's see if we can dig them out and do something with them. The public housing repositioning plan. I started that from the very get-go, and we had a few individuals that would champion them, but again, all of these programs are big and weighty. So, nonetheless, this is what they are: building affordable homes with alternative construction methodologies and materials. He was looking forward to the construction of a permanent homeless shelter. And of course, there's several properties out there, government properties, CLTC and Guam housing properties that are just laying fallow right now, that are just waiting to be built on. And he said, Sonny, we gotta do something so that we can use those properties. Otherwise, they're just going to sit empty again for the next 10, 20, 30 years. While we have a homeless problem, while we have people who can't afford housing, let's do something. Like, okay, boss, we'll do something, like make my hair fall out more. Sure. So that was GHURA 2.0. That was GHURA's, that I shouldn't say was, that is, and it's gonna be GHURA 2.0. Dr. John, if you may want to add a few words, because I know your class has been involved with the director. Sir.
Sure, thank you. Right. And so the short of our involvement as far as the University of Guam Masters of Public Administration goes for the board, every semester we have a graduating class and graduating candidates of the Masters of Public Administration, and they're put to task. They are put to task by way of engaging in a huge community effort or project that has very serious community impact. We've been very successful in the past. We've partnered with many agencies federally and locally, and also have garnered some pretty prestigious recognition for the work we've done, even on a national stage. And so when Director Tapashnia came to us his idea was kind of evolved. And so the short of it is, in April, first week of April, during the Center for Island Sustainability Conference, the Lieutenant Governor has already kind of given his blessing and direction that during that conference, the Center for Island Sustainability Conference, first week April, there will be a housing forum or a housing summit. And that this is something that the administration has asked for, and something that's sorely needed within the island to talk about and bring together all of the stakeholders involved in affordable housing. And so that will be the main focus. There's a lot of details still being flushed out, but that's kind of the stage that this project will end up in. Some of the elements, and there will be more updates to the board as the project evolves. Still, they're in the planning stages right now, but a lot of it is going to center around that report that was done, the strategic report that GHURA has on their website. The short of it is, if you read that report, it identifies background and issues and challenges with GHURA, and the things that they face today. What it doesn't really get into, which is where the MPA candidates come in, is what are some of the actions or recommendations that kind of compound it, right? I mean, so you have a plan that talks about what you face, but you don't have a roadmap. And so it was Director DePaznia's hope that the MPA would help him, and he would be there almost every Friday night, right? In fact, he was there the Friday night before he passed away with us almost till 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, working on some plans. And the idea is to come up with a laundry list of recommendations and action plans that then could be given to GHURA and presented to the board as options to kind of move GHURA into an action orientation more than it is right now, and realize some of the things that Sunny was talking about, and also maybe realize some of the things that haven't been in the forefront. So that's kind of the momentum behind it. And along the way, as a tangent to that, he really wanted to start to explore this idea of rebranding GHURA. He really believed that GHURA's mission, because of some of the things that Sunny had spoken about and the abilities to really impact community, GHURA was not getting its fair shake, and that we really needed to emerge under a new direction and a new identity that basically tells the community that GHURA is not just about Section 8 and it's not just about some of those things, which is still a primary mission, but GHURA can be and should be more for the community, and really more than just strengthening the families. It's the building the community part, and that GHURA could really be a game changer, as the director used to say, right, with regard to building communities. And so that was his hope too, was that part of this could be an exploration of a rebranding and a refresh, right, to not only tell GHURA stories, but to also get the community to realize that GHURA could be so much more moving into the future. So much so that even one of our students in the class was so compelled to tell her story, and she was a single mother who was kind of found in a difficult position with her family because of life circumstances, and ended up in GHURA. And she said that I wouldn't be here today in this bachelor's degree program, and my kids would not have a home if it wasn't for GHURA. So I believe in what we're doing, and I know that it works. And GHURA is not just about dependency, it's about mobility, giving people the abilities to move forward and move up in life. And she was a perfect example of that. And so we want to be able to tell the community and convince the powers that be that we are primed and right for and it's time for us to step forward and really do more for the community, and we can if we're given the abilities to do so. And that's kind of what all of this was in a nutshell. Like I said, as things evolve, the program and the class will still continue this project, and will be reporting to the board sooner than later as things materialize. But mark your calendars, first week of April, the Center for Island Sustainability Conference. We are working out with them what day we are going to take, but it has already been put on the radar that we will have a housing symposium during that day.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. Appreciate the kind words. And so that concludes my report. If there are any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
I had a question for you, Sonny. On
Yes, sir.
this, on these, rebranding 2.0, and this is really ambitious. Under the 750 public housing repositioning plan, now
Mhm.
that involves selling the current housings and rebuilding new ones. Does this include the Guanajuato in Tucumán?
The Guma Tranquilidad, sir?
Yes, yes.
Well,
Then my main question is, and the reason I'm asking is, if we're going to put renewable energy solar panels and lease the roofs out to a private company for 25 years, we'll be able to, or won't we be in a kind of a snag later on in that respect?
okay. Well, okay, two questions, sir. The first one is, will we be including the Guma Tranquilidad in as part of our 750 repositioning project? That was still under discussion, sir, at the time with Director Chapazna, because he wanted, well, I shouldn't say he wanted, but the plans were to do an assisted living type of facility for the new Guma Tranquilidad, if I may use that term, new. So we'll include that. We'll include that program in the 750 somewhere. But again, that's going to have to go through the MPA and how they're going to weigh and evaluate all of those programs. Now, as far as your second question goes, sir, for the solar installations at Guma, just in case we do happen to reposition or sell them out, we did explore that question with the vendor, and he said that those would be relocatable. That GHURA could relocate those solar panels to wherever GHURA wants to put them when that time comes.
If I may, Sunny.
Mhm.
So the
Yes, ma'am.
750 are the public housing units that are out at the AMP sites. It does
Yes.
not include Guma Tranquilidad, and that is because Guma Tranquilidad is actually, we have a loan with the USDA. So Guma Tranquilidad is a separate issue or plan from the 750 public housing units repositioning strategy. If that answers your question, Carl. Yeah, it's separate from the 750 public housing units at the AMP sites.
Mr. Chair, if I may,
Absolutely.
I have to leave in a few minutes, but Sunny, really great and awesome report. I'm looking forward to the collaboration with UOG on GHURA 2.0. But if I may, I saw an ad in the paper. Let me pull that ad. It was for a meeting. And if you don't mind, Mr. Chair, I'm just gonna, if I may, there is a notice
Sure.
to the public, transfer of property to GovGuam, and this is the Sinahanya and Pagat Community Centers, which I recall we did do the resolution back in December. And so as part of the process of transferring the property, right, Mr. Legal Counsel? You have to go through, it's a HUD process. And so there's going to be a public meeting. It says on March 15th.
You're correct.
So my question, and I don't know if this is going to go to Sunny, or I saw Kat here earlier, or Liz, are there any other properties or any other facilities that we may need to go through the same process that that the mayors are eyeing, or other government agencies? Maybe we've got Haggard here in Sinahanya. Would there be something up north? I know that the mayors are doing a lot of, they've received a lot of funding over the last year or so for facility improvements and developing community centers. So I guess I just wanted to get some kind of sense on whether whether there's any properties at GHURA that the mayors are eyeing or anything like that. I hope I made myself clear. Kat?
I'll take
Thank you.
that. So the short version of that is first off oh, so sorry. I'm Kathy Taitano. I'm Chief Planner here at GHURA. To the new members, welcome. Commissioner Guzman, the way those two properties, the Sinahanya and Haget centers came onto our radar was actually because the mayors had applied for funding to avail themselves of some improvements, enhancements to their properties, and Department of Land Management noted through they ran their property checks as part of that process and found that they are historically still listed as GHURA properties. So they've approached us just for those. There was a third property that we had no hand in that was also that they were also chasing down ownership issues for, but that was not in our realm. And yes, there's a lot of movement with the current mayor's with the villages really to use monies that are becoming available to them to make improvements or to build new things. And no, none of them. These are really from a past time that transfers were not done. In the case of Sinahanya, it had been done, similar transfers had been done for the urban renewal in Zotnya and in Asan, and yet it didn't get done in Sinahanya, and we don't know why. But the citizen participation process that we are using is tied to the fact that those properties and urban renewal has been improved with federal funds for Guam, for the government of Guam as the grantee. And this process is to notify the public of what's going to be happening with those properties, and the relationship and requirement to adhere to CDBG community development block grant program requirements stays in place in perpetuity.
Okay. Thank you, Kathy. So based on that, and if I may, Mr. Chair and Sunny, when we're talking about GHURA 2.0, mortgage certificate, Southern Economic Incentive Act and stuff, may I request that some discussion may be had with the Mayor's Council so that there could be a stronger partnership with the Mayor's Council, especially because they're getting all this money and they'll probably need some assistance. I mean, whether it's going to be with CDBG or whatever it is, but through this GHURA 2.0, maybe just put the mayors on the radar, or
happily. In fact, we have one project. Sunny can we can both do this one, and that is the rehab of the Mongwong Tumaiti Mayor's recreational space. He has a basketball court that we are improving, rehabilitating, and they have funding coming in for to match to ours. And I don't mean match in a specific way, but to put towards the same project so that they can further improve it. They're going to put a open covered roof over it while we do the basketball court itself. So we have heard of that one as well already.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Yeah. And I apologize. I have to go now. I've got 5 minutes to get to my next meeting, but thank you, everyone. Welcome aboard to our new board members. And as the, I guess, I don't know, Frank, I would call myself the most senior member on this board. Mayor Shizaki, but it's so nice to see a full board. And Liz, if you would just give the staff and everyone Don't collude and sijos maasi, and deepest condolences and sympathies on the passing of your leader. Adios, I gotta go. Thank you.
So thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Monica.
Bye-bye.
And that's a great suggestion. And just to kind of clarify, for the board, that the MPA, GHURA 2.0 is really a directed depository. It's kind of umbrella, right, for all these great things that GHURA could be in the near and post future. The MPA is really only there as a third party to kind of put some of these ideas on paper and create, some sort of action plan behind it that is not going to be in any way binding, right? It was just really an opportunity for a third party to come in and put some pen to paper and then provide that opportunity to go back to GHURA for their use and execution. Whether or not they even take anything, that's really up to GHURA and GHURA's leadership to be able to decide. It was just an opportunity to engage students at a master's degree level and get them to also help, to come up with some ideas and like I said, put it into some sort of document or report from a third party that will help to provide some foundation. But none of it is committal, or none of it by any means is going to be a promise of things to come. It's more of an opportunity, like I said, that will be fully vetted by the leadership and the board as those bodies, and up to the board and the leadership to decide, executive leadership to decide how those will be used in the future, right? Okay. Any other? I guess we're already into the general discussion and announcements. Any other general discussions and announcements prior to us looking at the next proposed board meeting? None. Okay. So hearing none, right? The next board meeting is set for March 11th at 12 p.m. Does any commissioner have a conflict with that? None, we're good. Commissioner Sanchez?
Yes, I'm just double checking on my schedule. I may be off island for
Sure.
4 days, but would this be in person or virtual?
I believe we still have a virtual option.
So, okay, that's fine. Then I could still do it. That's fine. Thank you, Mr.
Right.
Chairman.
Absolutely.
Hey, excuse me, Chairman.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Tony Perez, legal counsel. Could I be excused from that meeting? I actually start a federal criminal trial on March 8th for a couple-week period, but I can answer any questions, about before the meeting that anyone may have. But can I be excused from the actual meeting of March 11th?
Okay, duly noted. Duly noted. Thank you very much. Right. Okay. Any other general discussion or announcements? Okay. Hearing none, I think one of the ones that went out, and if you haven't seen it in your emails, the financial disclosure that came out right from the GHURA office as a kind reminder. If you haven't seen it in your emails, please contact. I believe Audrey was the one who sent it out, right? So if you haven't seen it or it got misplaced in cyber, please make sure that you take a look at that, right? And take note of that. Right. Other than that, I think, and I apologize. I see Ms. Rebecca Borja from HUD. Right. I'd like to acknowledge her presence at the meeting today. Thank you so much for joining us today, and your time with us on this meeting. Any last discussion or announcements?
If I may, Chairman.
Sure.
John. I just wanted to say that I will be giving you updates on the board chat with regard to Director Tapasna's arrangements, his arrangements for his funeral, viewing and funeral. And I did really want to also express that he always said that he had the best board ever. And I have to agree with him. And I think the new board members will agree as well as we continue to have our board meetings. But thank you very much for your support. GHURA has really been in great hands under the board's leadership. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. But thank you very much, and I will keep you updated on plans for his funeral arrangements.
And I have one,
No,
Mr. Chair. You know, Mr. Chair, I just want to welcome you.
Sure.
And Emilia and Nate to the board. And we're saddened by Ray's loss. I mean, he's a tremendous loss, and we're going to miss him. But I want to encourage Liz and Audrey to move forward, and we got your back. So that's all I wanted to say. Welcome aboard.
Thank you so much, Chief. I appreciate it. Right. You
Yeah, I'll
know,
second
like
that.
I said, absolutely right. It's kind of bittersweet, right? That that our first board meeting, right? And he put us all together. He wasn't here to in person to see it, but I really believe that it's all for the good, and I think we'll be able to honor him and honor the good work of the people that that also have passed in GHURA. GHURA has been not just it hasn't been just Director DePaznia. I think we've had our fair share of some losses at GHURA, and I think that the best way that we can honor them is to continue the good work, right? And actually show that this was the right thing to do, and that that this is really going to be the best board, right? And Director Napoli, I echo the sentiments of Chief Itagaki, right? We are all here, and I think you've heard it, in many different ways expressed. But please, right, extend our deepest condolences to the GHURA family, and please assure them of our support and prayers. And we really are, and I think I speak for all of the board, we really are here to support all of you, not just in the mission, but in the healing process, right? And if there's anything that we can do for you, please do not hesitate to reach out. And of course, we will always do what we can, right? I think with that, I hear no other announcements, right?
Actually, I just want to point out,
so
excuse
if I hear,
excuse me, Chairman.
no,
I just want
absolutely.
to say thank you to all of you. And Chief, it's good to hear and see you again. It's been a while since the GPD days. And I just want to thank Ms. Kim Berseman and everybody who's facilitated bringing in the grief counselors to our staff and providing that emotional and psychological support for them. Thank you, Chairman, for reiterating that our agency has experienced not just the loss of our leader, but multiple individuals within our agency who have passed on this past few months. And I just want to acknowledge our agency for bringing in the professionals to alleviate any and all emotional and psychological challenges that we may be going through at the moment. It's a real thing, and it's very sudden. And you're right, it's absolutely bittersweet that we, ironically, were collaborated and organized by our leader who's no longer with us. But thank you all. I appreciate all of that. Thank you.
Absolutely. Commissioner Rice, I saw you unmute.
Oh, no, it's okay. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Thank
No, not a problem, right? Director Tapaznia was very fond of reminding me in our meetings, and we had quite a bit even before I was a official, to be very cognizant that GHURA is made up of people who work very hard, and sometimes the consequence of that is their own health, and a personal consequence to them, and I think that has also been on the minds of leadership at GHURA, which is a great thing to remember, right? That with great work also comes great sacrifice, and it's not without saying. But like I said, we are fully here to support all of you. We understand that this is not an easy time, and it's never an easy time for anybody, but definitely it's not a time to be alone. So again, thank you for all that you do, right? And hearing no other discussions, can I get a motion to adjourn at 1:05 p.m.
I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Okay. Thank you so much, right?
Second that motion.
And I think, okay, thank you very much, right? Meeting adjourned, right? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Okay, thank you. Take care.
Stay safe.
Thank you, everybody. Be safe. Have a great weekend.